Sometimes you might be walking along or biking into work or sitting in a peaceful place and just watching the sunrise, sunset, and you just see this light coming up on the horizon. You just get this feeling of, you're sitting on this big ball of rock, molten rock mainly, with this really thin crust that you're able to sit on the outside, and it's just sort of rolling towards the sun. All life, as you can imagine, is really just this thin film of receptive water, basically. All life is water and water is life, that's sitting far enough away from its source of energy, the sun, that it can exist in all three forms within that film. And the closest celestial body, which is the moon, started its own existence much closer to the Earth. And as it went round, the gravitational force of the moon was pulling a bulge of that film up and wrapping it around and around the planet. And of course, all life that was created in that film, whether it was bacteria, microflora, plants and animals, which are all, let's face it, basically water, were subject to the rhythms of that cycle. Almost 2 billion years of life exists on the planet before the first plant comes along, before the first roots go down into that medium. So when they put their roots down into the soil, they weren't trying to get their nutrition off the rock, they were getting their nutrition off the soluble exudates of the microflora of the soil. You have to imagine that medium might be like a really anaerobic sort of thick muck that's sort of sitting inside it. What the plants are doing is taking all of that stuff and like releasing it into the air. This is kind of like Tane, the god of the forest, pushing Ranganui, the sky father, away from Papatuanuku, Earth Mother. This is what happened in biology essentially, is the forests pushing the sky away from the earth and creating a space, an atmosphere that we can all live in. From our point of view, through our sensory instruments, we're looking out and seeing the world as if an elephant is big and an ant is small. Yet the largest biomass on the planet is just the microflora of our soil, is something we can't even see, smell or feel. And it's been here since the beginning, and it's going to be here for a lot longer after us as well. What biodynamics helps us with is to be able to connect with all of the microflora that is connecting plants to rock, and looking at your farm or a piece of land as having its own individuality, its own sense of self, its own identity, perhaps even its own mode, its own spirit if you like, and maintain a culture that in turn maintains a relationship with that individual. Compost is lovely. It's the centre of the property. All of the organic material comes into the centre and is made into life. Trillions of single cellular organisms that go out on the property, inoculate down into the ground, and then metabolize minerals out of the rock into a form that the vines can then get their nutrition from. Remembering that water and life is really receptive, stirring 500 gives you this sense of you, everything that's around you, perhaps everything that's above you, being received into this water, into this product. Then after that, spreading it out by hand around the property gives all of that back to the land. As much as compost is an opportunity to connect with the microflora of our land, fermentation is again another opportunity where we can actually connect manually, full bodily sometimes, with the microflora that is creating our product. Biodynamics is fun. It can be kind of spooky or even mystical. Look, we can't get judgmental about it, not say this is a better way of farming. We're all filthy creatures. We drive tractors, we fly to markets. We're all part of being human. We're all part of the system. It's simply a way that we've found to help us as a team and a family to better connect with our land. It can be something that's a little bit unseen, a little bit mystical, but that's something to celebrate. We like the things that we can't quite see or can't quite explain. So from sunrise through handshakes, hand hoeing, pruning, compost, 500 preparation, harvest, fermentation, barrel work, even celebrating at the end of the day. We say it's the handshake at the start of the day, the beer at the end, and everything in between. What essentially is going on is people connecting to land, a living individual, and then giving that individual a voice through its vines and its wines.